Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right. Let's do this little 10-minute drill, little sports concepts and rationalizations, a little back and forth, a little yelling and screaming. Who knows what's going to happen right here? Maybe a little fight right here on the program.
Literal
Could happen. It has happened before. It'll
happen again.
Afterwards, we will hand out a lovely prize pack as a sign of peace to all. Beef, what are we giving away this week?
We're going to hook up the Googans with a 4-pack of tickets to head down, check out the Jumbo Shrimp in action down at the baseball grounds.
Beautiful.
Plus, a voucher for the 18-hole simulator with TrackMan and a beer from Coastal Indoor Golf.
All right. Oh, outstanding. So inside and outside, perfect summer gift for you. We'll do that at the end of this segment. So, Jeff, let's start with Zion Williamson. Is there a concern? Is he injury prone? Is this no big deal? But he got hurt right in his first game, banged knees, and I know one thing though. Zion knows how to score. Zion will get his points in the NBA. That I'm fairly certain. But his shot doesn't look exactly outstanding either.
Well, no, he's gonna have to work on that. I have no concerns though on just pulling him out of summer league because of a bruised knee. I don't necessarily think that makes him injury prone. Shoot, he came back. Once he came back from the blown out shoe and that injury, he played, at full strength and effort for the remainder of the season and then into the postseason. So I wouldn't be worried about that. I would go ahead though and just feel extra condolences for Zion and New Orleans. He's now in a situation where he can't be the superstar that people want him to be. You can't, because the West now has once again accumulated all the talent, and the New Orleans Pelicans are going to be terrible by comparison, at least. So I really think that more than the Zion injury in Summer League, the Friday news that Kawhi Leonard was taking Paul George to the Clippers was as much damage to Zion's brand as anything. I don't know how that brand, Hick, is going to be able to surge in a Western Conference that has LeBron and Kawhi and Steph and all these other stars.
Well, I think it's exciting for the NBA, though, and I don't look at it as a West is way better or anything like that. I look at it like, who's going to win? Right now, the Clippers are the Vegas favorite.
I don't get that.
Ahead of the Lakers. And the second team, I think, was a team from the East, the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken.
Philly, maybe? I think
and
it was
the Sixers are up there as well. And everybody is quietly talking about the Utah Jazz, and maybe that team could come together and be a real team. They have a lot of talent with Conley coming out there. And the Nuggets had a good year with some young kids. And Boston might be better by subtraction,
there is
getting
no
rid of
super
Kyrie
team,
and adding Kemba. Yeah, there's a lot of teams with good players, but for the first time in 5 years, we're not punching so-and-so's ticket to the NBA Finals. Now, others will disagree and call in and say, the Lakers are going to the Finals, or the Clippers are going to the Finals. And that's one opinion, but we can certainly offset that with conversation. We couldn't do that before, at least not in the last 5 years. I think it's great for the association. I think it makes it relevant, although it worked with the dynasty of Golden State, and it would have worked if the Lakers were all the way back. A shout-out, too, to our buddy Ping. He got one right for once.
The Clippers one.
And quite frankly, Jeff, I'll ask you this. There are two guys who stand out more to me. Now, Beef, you follow the association more than me. But the two, Woj is the best. The two who are the worst, two who should be.
The two look like the biggest horse's age.
Chris Broussard, who should answer, and did on Twitter, by the way, posted a thing, hey, I was wrong, but you're not supposed to be wrong.
You're supposed to wait until you're right to report it.
Well, you can say your opinion, but you report it as fact. And Jalen Rose.
Yeah, and Jalen Rose also tweeted out that he was wrong and he owned it.
Okay.
What did Jalen say?
Jalen Rose got on television and said, it is happening 99%. He gave himself 1% that he's going back to Toronto on a 2-year deal.
So he tweeted out 2 days ago, said, I was wrong. Dead wrong. No one saw this timeline for the clips, also adding PG. Wow.
Correct. No one saw it, but you guys sat there and talked about it day after day like you knew what was going on. And that's not fair.
Broussard literally tweeted out, Clippers are out.
Yes. So both those guys should wear it, and not just say I was wrong on Twitter, but they should be on television today, and the boys should not be afraid to give them grief and play their clips over and over again. That's what we do.
Well,
I mean, it's just fair. I mean, if you're an
gonna
insider,
report,
report it as fact.
And there's Jalen, not so much. He does more what we do. But Broussard is a reporter.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He's supposed to be an insider. So his was, I thought, even worse. And that voice, my God, has just got to.
I don't care about the voice.
Yeah, I do.
I like Chris Broussard personally.
Yeah,
I just don't think.
I'd like him if he didn't talk the way he did.
He couldn't have been more wrong. And so if you're a, quote, insider, I'm not saying there should be some sort of ramifications, but my gosh, dude, I mean, are you kidding me?
Baseball has reached its, cliche halfway point. Each team has played more than half their games at this point. Most teams have played at least 90 or more. I find it intriguing. 5 of the 6 divisions are led by at least 5.5 games, and then there's the National League Central, where every team is within 4.5 games.
Yeah.
Are you having as hard a time as I am determining a favorite in the National League Central? And could a division that we thought might have a winner and both wild cards end up with just one team around 500?
Oh, yeah. Beef said last week he'd take 88 and run right now.
I'd feel great with 88.
And I think the Cubs ultimately win it. I'm rooting for the Pirates or the Reds to win it. I think that would be great for one of those teams to come out of nowhere and win it. They're very. I disagree. They're all good teams. They're all beating up on each other. I think they all have flaws. I think everybody has flaws in the National League except the Dodgers. And so I'm not sold on the National League Central as being a player. But you know what's going to happen, Jeff, is, and it always happens, is one of those teams will win 12 out of 13 and just surge. I think.
It can't happen that way.
I think.
Let me ask you this. Of the 5 teams that have at least a 5.5 game, let's see, the Yanks by 6.5 over Tampa, Minnesota by 5.5 over Cleveland, who's coming a little bit.
Yes.
Houston by 7.5 over Oakland.
Cleveland's cut the Twins' lead in half.
Is there any of those teams you feel will not win their division? The Braves by 6 over the Nats, and the Dodgers have already salted it away. So of those other
you're
4,
asking me, are
any of those
divisions
that have the 5.5 game lead or more, or more susceptible than others to?
Yes.
The Twins, is that the one?
Yes. And that's the only one. I don't think I've watched the Phillies have beaten the Mets a lot, and that's the only team they've beaten in the last month and a half. I don't think the Phillies are that good. And the Nats, I give them a ton of credit because the Nats were dead and buried. They would have Nat fan Dan would have had the funeral for the Nats most likely, and they have gone from being like in 4th place with one of the worst records to having the 3rd best record in the national.
The only thing that's happened to the Nats is that during that same period, the Braves have had the best record in baseball.
Yes.
I mean, they've still made up some ground.
But they're a wild card team right now.
Yes, they are. They would
and
be.
by
in
the
wild
way,
card.
The best pitcher in baseball again is Max Scherzer.
No doubt about that.
So you don't want to face him in a one-game playoff.
Have you noticed about the Major League Baseball's All-Star game is becoming the Pro Bowl? I have never seen as many guys pull out of the All-Star game as I have this year.
Did a bunch pull out?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Like 5 pitchers have pulled out.
I have some, listen, we, as a Met fan, you don't have a lot to root for. But when you're a fan of a team, you get statistical crazy, and so you eat up all these stats. And I have seen some just doozies concerning the Metropolitans. Pete Alonso, the Gator, is going to hold every power hitting record for the New York Mets in his rookie year. And it might have to come with an asterisk because the balls clearly are fixed.
Your favorite guy, Dan?
Who's that? I'm Joe Madden. Yeah.
Said the ball reminds him of a Titleist.
Because I also had a kid. We had a kid in triple. This is true, by the way. We had a kid in Double-A who was tearing it up pitching wise. And Triple-A is using the same baseballs as Major League Baseball. He went up to Triple-A. He's getting rocked around a little bit. He's like, well, the balls are different.
I don't understand how that is possible.
Well,
how you don't have the same quality. I know it is, but why don't they keep the same quality year to year?
There was, Jeff, I think, oh, man, I don't have it. But in terms of hitting 20 home runs in a season, I think there were like 57 guys who did it last year. And there's already like 40 guys who've done it this year, and there's like another 30 who already have 18 or 19. So, I mean, it is gone crazy, and you've watched enough, and I've watched enough baseball to know that we've seen way too many times. Guy hits a ball and it's a pop fly, and it keeps going and going, and all of a sudden it's gone. And
it's almost like
hey.
when Little League get to those composite bats, and all of a sudden every Little Leaguer was hitting at 300 feet.
The most amazing stat that I read, and this one is incredible, is we got a kid who made the All-Star team, McNeil, and in his first 500 at-bats in his career, the only two players who had more hits than him ever, DiMaggio and Boggs. Ever. I mean, that's incredible, man. And 500 at-bats, that's a full season. So that's been fun. And then you complained about your bullpen, which, by the way,
that's the best bullpen ERA in the National League.
Oh,
I don't know how that's possible.
Well, by the way,
it's gotten better.
You know things are going your way when your closer goes in a game, gives up a walk and 3 hits, and doesn't give up a run.
Well, did you see one of the hits?
No.
Yeah, the hits were very sketchy. One was a chopper to the infield. The other was a sacrifice bunt that he bunted over the pitcher's mound in the air. It ended up like a pop fly. But they got out of the
But you want to talk about bad bullpens. In 1962, the Mets' first year of existence, when they lost 120 games, 120, they had the worst bullpen. That ERA that year proved to be the worst bullpen they ever had. 62, 63, 64, 75, 87, 92, 2005, 2006. Never could top that 1962 ERA until 17, 18, and 19. In
well, congratulations.
17, they beat 62. In 18, they beat 62 and were worse than 17. And now in 19, they're worse than 18, 17, and 62. So congrats. It's been fun to watch the last 3 years. What a freaking gas can that is. Ooh. But anyway.
That's too bad.
Those are some baseball numbers. Lots to do. Some NFL talk. College football talk is on the way next. We're doing it here on the drill. Let's go caller number 4, 641-1010. Beef, what are they getting?
Caller number 4 right now, 641-1010, is going to take home a family 4-pack to go see the Jumbo Shrimp in action down at the baseball grounds of Jacksonville, plus a voucher for the 18-hole simulator with TrackMan and a beer at Coastal Indoor Golf. Caller 4 right now, 641-1010.